Sometimes I feel like praising him. Sometimes I feel like praising him. Praising him in the morning, praising him in the night. Oh, sometimes I feel like praising him. More spirituals. Spirituals. People like to call them old nigger spirituals. But I'm just like, you know what? White people had spirituals back then too. You know what I'm saying? There was a bunch of mixed music popping off back then. You didn't find out till later that some white person wrote it. You're like, man, some white person wrote that? Like, man, that song was awesome. Matter of fact, one of the most played songs ever. It's written by a white person. I Will Always Love You. Everybody thought it was Whitney Houston who sang it and wrote it. I was like, nope, Dolly Parton. Dolly. It was the most song played ever until Alicia Keys came along with I'll Keep on Falling in Love with You. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. Out, out, I. Yeah, there's a lot of songs like that where you don't know who sang it until, people really start digging and find out that, you know, this person sang it, that person sang it. There's a lot of swapping back then because music wasn't protected as it is now. That's why Elvis the Pelvis, was getting away with just stealing music. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. Man, don't bend mine. That was sung by a black lady. Written. He used to hang outside of little blues joints, listen to their songs, and there was no copyright laws that were protecting, these people who were singing in these little taverns and bars and little juke joints. You know what I'm saying? And some big black woman. Ain't nothing but she had a husky voice too. You just listen there and then he'd take the song and he'd make it famous and everybody be like, Elvis, oh my God. Elvis the pelvis. Love me tender, love me sweet. I was into Elvis for a minute till he said a black man is not worthy to tie his shoes. It was like, dang, pelvis. It's like, how you gonna do me like that? I was rocking with you too for about 5 minutes. Then you just up jumped the monkey and got all racist on me. Racist people often make that mistake in music, and or, you know, actors, people who perform, they do that. Their racism, they can't hide their racism, and then it just comes out because they figure, hey, you guys are gonna still listen to my music anyway, or I don't need you. I don't need you, I don't need you, I don't need you, but I want you. You know what I'm saying? They figure you're still gonna listen to me, and kind of find out that people just stop listening to you because your demographic was the people that you hated. And next thing you know, your album sales drop. Beep, 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 blump, blump. Yeah, because you were a racist asshole and you just couldn't hide it. You know, got around a bunch of other racist people, and you thought it was okay to just be racist, whether you black or white racist. You know, get up there. I can't stand white people. It's really crazy because when a black guy says he can't stand white people, it's funny. But when a white guy says he can't stand black people, it's mayhem. It is time to bang. When a white guy comes out and says he can't stand black people, I'm like, thank you. Because I know not to rock with you in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm not buying your clothes. I'm not listening to your music. I'm not supporting you in any way possible because you don't like me because of my color. Not because I did something to you, simply because of my color. That's it. I was born like this. I can't help it. This is the way I was born. Like, what you want me to do? Jump back into my mom's and come out a white person? Sorry, bro. I'm here already. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't dislike you because you white. I ain't got nothing against you. Shoot, I was probably rocking out with you. Stand in the place where you live. I'll be rocking out the white people. Boom, 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 boom. Come as you are. Little Kurt Cobain. As you run into me now. No, I don't have a gun. I'll be rocking out. There's some white people, man, y'all. Some white songs I can't get into. Little Curtis Pilger 4. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff I just can't. I can't rock with some of y'all, some of that acid rock. 180 beats per minute. I can't rock. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. You know, like Malia, Sasha and Malia. One of them likes hardcore rock. Yeah, she was rocking out. She was on the ground rocking. I was like, yeah, let her bang her head. And she also listens to like rap music, like some young cats from New York. She had one of their shirts on. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, she's just her. Most of the crowd she hangs around is white, but she still like is into deep. I mean, when you listening to some of the newer cats who coming out of the hood, like there's no mistaking that there is probably very little to no white influence. It is the hood. It is what they talking about. And and everybody thinks, it's all gangster music. It's just like, hood music wasn't always gangster. Gangster music is a type of music that came out of the hood, but you've always had people who were doing uh, you know, Tribe Called Quest and that they ain't gangsters. But they talked about the hood. They talked about where they from. You know what I'm saying? Who's that peeping through my window? Bloodhound, nobody now. I ain't Tribe Called Quest, but there's some boys from the South. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You still got all kind of music that comes out of, there's variations that comes out of each hood. You got, I mean, Slim Shady came, I mean, 8 Mile. It was really crazy when Slim Shady came out of 8 Mile. He was noticed by Dr. Dre and came out of 8 Mile. He was the white dude in the hood going to battle raps in the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? He lived in the hood. He grew up poor as crap in the hood. The white dude beating black people at their own game, except one dude. One dude slaughtered him. He didn't slaughter him, he beat him. But he was beating black guys in battle rap, but that's the one thing he knew he could do. Like, he could do, like, better than, let's face it, 99% of the people around him. And he would just slaughter cats, and then once he got known, that was it. He still came out of 8 Mile. Really crazy is once he produced another group, part of that group came out of 8 Mile. One of them went back, to 8 Mile and was partying and got shot and killed. Proof, you know. But like I said, some people can't hide their bigotry. And it's crazy too. But when it's just like when a woman tells me she doesn't like me, I'm like, thank you. If I hit on a chick and she shows me no interest, she's like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, thank you very much. I didn't waste my time, my money, no nothing. All I said was, hey, you want to get a hamburger? She's like, nah, I'm good. I moved on. You know what I'm saying? Move on. She ain't play with your feelings or nothing. It's the chicks that be like, yeah, tomorrow at 3, you all amped up to meet this chick tomorrow at 3, and she stands you up. Or you take her and then she don't get a hamburger, she gets like five. You like, damn, I didn't know you could eat all that. You know what I'm saying? You got a $30 bill off of going to McDonald's. Like, hell nah. And she don't call you back tomorrow. I done had some girls just not call me at all. I'm like, I'm tired of feeding you goofy chicks. You know what I'm saying? But, you just want people to be straight up. You don't want people to be bigots. Most of the people that watch me on YouTube, I figured out most of you guys are white. You know what I'm saying? And on Instagram, TTONE202. Most of you guys are white. And and I like it. I mean, I grew up in the hood, and then, my later teens, I grew up around some white people who had money. You know what I'm saying? Lived in a nice crib. I lived in their crib. It was like, damn. Finished basement. You know what I'm saying? They weren't rich, but they lived in a nice, quiet, no police, not one police car to be found. No reason to come up there. Not unless you did something. Just no need. Everybody's chilling. Like, this is how life is supposed to be. You know what I mean? But then again, when you have all that, you still miss the hood. Because there's something about it. There's something, I mean, like I used to work at a clothing store. And the dudes at the clothing store would walk in, $900, bam. $900 worth of clothes. Like it's nothing. Come in about 2 days later, same thing. Boom, $900. One dude came in, he still had the fresh tags on his clothes. Came in to buy another couple $100 worth of clothing, picked out what he wanted, bring it up to the desk. The chick was checking him out, ringing. She was, ringing him up and whatnot. And she was like, you're short like $20 or whatever. You're short $20 or whatever. I seen a dude do this in a movie. Tom Sizemore. When he was getting a plane ticket, he's trying to convince the lady to let him get on the plane without getting a ticket. Just let me on the plane. So he put some money up there, and she was like, well, this is only enough for one. So he grabbed a bunch more money and just put it up there. And it was more than what he needed. And the lady just took it, and, he went on about his way. But nonetheless, that's pretty much what happened. The dude put some money up there, and the lady's like, you need like $25 more. He pulled out a couple more hundred and was like, boom. And she started counting it. And she looked at him and she said, you don't know how to count. And he just smiled at her. This dude couldn't have been no older than 17. He really did not know how to count, but he had a bunch of money on him. I was like, wow, what's that all about? She's like, he's hood rich. You know what I'm saying? He a little dealer. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to school. He don't care about being educated. All he knows is he's getting money. You know what I'm saying? So there's different reasons why people want to stay in the hood. You know what I mean? It's not all the way bad in the hood. But nonetheless, when you get people who got a certain amount of money, a certain status, and they come back to the hood, it's dangerous for them. Chinks drugs. He got shot in Jamaica, Queens, driving a $100,000 car. One of his friends the next day was like, yo, what was he doing in Jamaica, Queens at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever? I don't know what time. I don't know all the details, but that's what happened. Anyways, people can't hide their bigotry for too long. You are who you are. Yeah, I got into some heated conversations about transgenders. I'm like, transgenders are putting themselves out there, saying this is who I am, and people are questioning them, and I'm one of them. And people are giving you backlash when you question these people who say this is who they are. And you're like, I'm not coming against them. They putting it out there for us to talk about them and find out more about them. So I'm like, okay, tell me more about you. Then people are like, leave him alone. Leave Brittany alone. Leave her alone. Chris Crocker. Oh my God. And you're like, wait a minute. They're the ones who put themselves on YouTube. And I'm just asking. So they're like, you're the bigot. And I'm just like, how am I a bigot when I'm just asking? What about you? How did you, like, what's your mental state? How'd you get to this place in your life? You know what I mean? You was a girl, now you're a guy, or you was a guy, now you're a girl. Now you want to have a baby as a guy, girl. Like, how do you identify? You know, Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn, Woman of the Year. Like, oh, I don't know. But I'm not a bigot. I don't have nothing against transgender people. And have mercy if you mention the Bible, it's just all hell breaks loose then. But the Bible is a standard of living. But I'm not a bigot, you know. You know. I have seen some. I've seen some like ultimate bigotry, like a black woman with a white dude, and then smirking at me like I ain't nothing. Did you look in the mirror lately, lady? That's happened. It happens a lot. They get a white dude, and it's just like every black man is no good unless they're in the family. It's like, what? Wait, what? What happened? What? You think his family doesn't look at you as who you are to them? Like, come on, now. Hmm. Put the brakes on all that. I dated a white woman who never dated a black man before, and her family was the best. They were amazing. They were some amazing people. They were just amazing. They were amazing. I mean, they welcomed me, and they even saw the shock in my face. They knew I was in shock. They knew I didn't know how to act. It's like 4 years ago. They knew it, and the one lady said, it hasn't hit him yet. He's part of the family. I had just met him that day. Got me stuff for Christmas. I was like, made me a blanket. I still sleep with that blanket. They were amazing. Amazing. It's scary because I know if it was black family, it's a little hard to digest. They got all these standards they want you to have, but nonetheless, those are my people. You know, those are my people. And then come to find out her sister was married to a black guy. But they were like, yeah, you're welcome. Had a big old house. She had a big old house. Anyway, some people can't hide their bigotry. People think you shouldn't wear Tommy Hilfiger because Tommy Hilfiger doesn't like black people. I'm like, you think Tommy knows you have your, outfits on? Then they had this whole report about Tommy Hilfiger saying his clothing wasn't made for black people. It's like, Tommy, we already know this, but you have like three different lines of clothing. You got the clothing that, well, your clothing's for different echelons. You know what I'm saying? Different financial groups. You got your purple label, and only the rich wear that, or the well-to-do. So who cares who wears your stuff, Tommy? You probably run around with a FUBU shirt on, made by Damon John, black man out of New York. Anyways, you know, you ever see a white dude with a black woman? He is king of the world. You can't tell him, especially if she cold. If she a fine black woman, you can't tell. And dark skin, you can't tell that white boy nothing. That white dude is king. He just looking at you like, and what? Like, what you gonna do? Like what? Put his hand on her ass and keep rolling. I ain't mad at him. I may be a little bit jealous, but I ain't mad. Shoot, get that. Knock it out. Ain't nothing you can do about it. What you gonna do? Be mad? You know? Should do is ask if she has a sister. Yo, she got a sister? What her mama look like? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no sense you being mad. He gonna do what he gonna do. Shoot, probably do it in front of you if you hang around long enough. You know, what you gonna be mad for? You gonna beat the dude up? She ain't gonna leave him. That's what she wants. Just keep rocking on. Might want to hang out with old boy. Because pretty women have pretty friends. That's just it. Anyways, I just wanted to talk for a minute. Especially about bigotry. You know, people can't hide their bigotry too long. Eventually you find out what they are. You know, people try to mask who and what they are. Try to hang around different secular groups, different sections. You'll find out if they really don't like you or not. Because when it comes down to it, they'll do something crazy. Even if they black, if they don't really like you, soon some white people come around. I've had that happen. Shoot. Guy worked for FedEx. I knew him for years. You know? Walked in there, he was behind the desk, 'cause that's where he worked. And there was some white dudes there. And all of a sudden he points at me and goes, call the police on this guy and take him to jail. Now for one, you don't ever say that to a black man. You don't ever say call the police on this dude and it's a joke. Because we die when the police come. It's no, you're guilty or we're going to find out if you're guilty. No, your life can end right there. So that's not a joke. And I just looked at him and I was like, call them, see if they can catch me. You know? And although I seen him again, I never like looked at him the same. And he can tell, like I don't, like I couldn't rock with him in no shape, form, or fashion. But his girl is fine. But you can tell he got hatred for his own kind. He'll show out in front of a white dude in a heartbeat. He is a bigot. He got hatred for his own people. You know what I mean? You just don't say stuff like that. You don't play like that. And for what? I did absolutely nothing. So, anyway, it's your boy Tone 202, man. Be true to who you are. Peace.